Welcome to Water Opsert School's Distribution System Operator Exam Preparation Series for grades 1 and 2. Moving on to our next example, question number 4. And we have, in this case, another little unique, different piece of information that doesn't always show up, a percentage. So let's read through and figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to use that percentage. The water level in an 80-foot diameter. Okay, so we're dealing with a cylinder again. Distribution system reservoir is 42.5 feet when full, but calculate the volume when the tank is filled to 77% of capacity. That's what they're asking us to do. And in this case, all the answers are given as million gallons, capital MG. Now, lowercase mg also is used, and that, if it shows up, stands for milligrams, most commonly going to show up as part of a dosage concentration, but capital MG is million gallons. Well, in order to calculate a volume in million gallons, we're going to do the same process that we've done the last couple of times. Calculate the volume in gallons first, and then we're going to move the decimal over 6 places. And to do that, mathematically, we divide that gallons number by 1 million. So that gives us an abbreviated form, if you will, of our volume amount. As you can see, all these examples here, 1.2, and then different digits that are used, so that it's actually 1,200,000 whatever thousand, but we don't need to write in all the zeros if we're stating it in million gallons. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our volume calculation as if the tank was full, because to figure out the volume at 77%, we're going to go ahead and use that percentage number along with the total volume. So if we figure out the volume in gallons total that the tank will hold, then we can convert that amount into whatever percentage, full or partial full percentage, that we're given by multiplying by the percent number in decimal form. And of course, when we use the word percent, that's exactly how we're going to turn the percent number into decimal form, because per always means divide, and in this case, cent is for 100. So we're going to turn 77% into a decimal by multiplying it by 100, or excuse me, dividing it by 100. And so when we divide 77% by 100, we end up with 0.77. So we're going to always convert that percent number into decimal form by dividing by 100. And then if we're taking a percent of the total amount, like we are in this case, we multiply times that decimal form of the percentage. All right, so let's go ahead and set up our volume calculation first, though, as a total amount. So the total volume that the tank will hold when it's full, 0.785 times, in this case, we have an 80-foot diameter that we're going to square, times, when it's full, it has 42.5 feet of water in it, and then times 7.48 to turn it all into gallons. Then multiplying this through on the calculator, 0.785 times 80 squared for the diameter, times 42.5, and then times 7.48, comes out to 1,597,000 and about 130 gallons. Okay, so now we can go ahead and determine what the 77% volume is, also in gallons, by multiplying that number, 1,597,130 gallons, by 77% in decimal form, 0.77. So on the calculator, with that number still showing in the display, don't need to clear it out. We're just going to hit multiply by 0.77 equals, and now we have our 77% partial volume, 1,229,790 gallons. So now that we have our partial volume, 77% volume, we can go ahead and express that as million gallons by dividing that number, 1,229,790 by 1 million, or moving that decimal over 6 places to the left. And again, with the calculator already showing that number in the display, all we need to do is hit divide by, and then the 1 and 6 zeros for 1 million equals 1.229, which if we round it off to 2 places past the decimal, like the answers are, since the second 2 is followed by a 9, we're going to go ahead and round that up to 1.23 million gallons. And so the best answer is answer A. Now, you have to be a little bit careful with some of the calculations, the way they show up on the calculator, because in this example, they could have had another choice listed here, 1.22 million gallons. And some folks might have been tempted to choose that answer because it matched the first 3 digits showing up on the calculator when you do the whole process correctly. But if you chose that, it would be incorrect. And 1.23 would still be the best choice, because even though you have the 1 point and then both of those 2's, if we're rounding off, since the second 2 is followed by a 9, it rounds up to a 3, and therefore answer A would still have been the best answer, even if 1.22 was one of the choices. Thank you for viewing this video from Water OpSearch School. For more general knowledge and math practice, please go to www.opsearchschool.com. To purchase the practice manual that was used as part of this presentation and full videos, please visit water-opsert-school.square.site/for the Water OpSearch School online store.